Okay, boys and girls, how you doing? My name is Brad Burton. I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. The reason I know that is it says so on my website. I've just made it up. But you know something? Muhammad Ali, he passed away yesterday. The greatest of all time. And the reason that we still refer to Muhammad Ali as the greatest of all time 50 years on is because he referred to himself as the greatest of all time. Because I promise you, you know, the first person you need to convince in this speaking game is you of your brilliance. And that's what I've done from my perspective. You know what? Am I the UK's #1? I have no fucking idea. You can beat that, right? But I've no idea. But the reality is I get booked as such. So what I'm about to do for the next 4 hours is, okay, right, 2 people awake. What I'm about to do for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to try and give you some tips as to becoming a better speaker effectively. And we're going to talk about bananas. Oh yeah, bananas. Teleport machines and commando rolling. Does that make sense? Exactly, it makes no sense, but as a speaker, that's what I'm doing, is I'm just throwing out there, he's going, commando, roll, you know, you're intrigued, so he's thinking about that, and it's still going to be there. But first thing we're going to do is this. I need a glamorous assistant, someone who can write on the board, and who's got good writing. Who we got? So step forward. In life, there's a hero. There you go, all right, glamorous assistant, big round of applause. The Debbie McGee of this online foresight. Okay, so what would people, write the word like, right on there. What would people that like me, how would they describe me as a speaker? What words would people who like me, how would they describe me? Go for it, right.
Nuts.
Nuts. Energetic, that'll start you off. Motivational, keep going.
Individual.
Individual.
Loud.
Loud.
Direct.
Direct.
Unique.
Unique.
Engaging.
Engaging, thank you. She is amazing. Inspiring, thank you.
Empowering.
Empowering, good stuff.
Humorous.
Humorous, thank you. You don't mind type. Ooh, sailor. Right, one more. Motivational, thank you. Right, so that's what people that like me would refer to me. Here's where it gets fun. We see where we're going with this. Thank you. That one, kiddo. Whoops, glamorous assistant. Right. So dislike. Someone who dislikes me. What would they refer to me as? Now this is where it gets fun. Come on, you can be as crude as possible. Loud. We've got that the other way, but that's fine. Loud. So go on.
Arrogant.
Arrogant. There you go. It hurts. It hurts to twist that knife. Go.
Bad language.
Bad language. Language. He swears too much. He swears too much.
Scruffy.
Bit strong. Now get it. Brand new Adidas these. Hey, it says the Superstar, special edition, 60 quid. Sports Direct, they've got the gold label. Honestly, zoom in on the gold label. Look, 60 quid. Scruffy. Go. Unprofessional, there you go. Unprofessional. Keep going, come on, let's get the list down. Yeah. Come on, we need one. Aggressive, good, yeah, let's add that. Keep them coming. Come on, Mike, you've got some choice words that people don't like me. I know that's not the case with you, but crass. It's strong, isn't it? Hey, the devolution of Brad Burton, as you've seen on camera. Keep going, couple more. Cocky, let's go. One more.
An asshole.
Arsehole, thank you, right.
We just lost that for him.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe that. I use that help desk. Yeah, my membership seems to have been rescinded. No, I need you back. I need you to stay there. So you're all right. Right, exactly. Bit of glamour there for the shoot there, Sam. Bit of glamour. Right. So here's the thing. Right. Here is the thing. What we do as speakers, we try to be everything for everyone. We try to appease every single person. Now here's the thing. I am never going to be able to convince people that dislike me to like me, that these same qualities are likable ones. I had a guy come up to me at a show I spoke, he couldn't wait to tell me, came out of his way, Brad, yes, your style's not for everyone. Okay, I said, do me a favour, name in the history of humanity one person whose style is for everyone. And he said, Boulder's Brass, Father Christmas. I can give you 6 billion people that probably don't agree with you on that one. You know, there is no style for everyone. You could be Mahatma Gandhi and someone would put a bullet in your head for your views on world peace. Right? This is what I would say as a speaker. Define who you are. Because I cannot, this is my style, right? But the difference is to whether somebody dislikes it. So you need to understand your style. Because your style cannot be for everyone. I've lost jobs. People have said to me, I had somebody ring me up and said, Brad, you lost a job recently. Why is that? Well, they Googled you and because you wore t-shirts, they wasn't interested. Not a problem. But when I spoke at JCB for the 3rd time, JCB, is that the $1 billion business? Yeah, that's the one. When I spoke for JCB for the third time, they didn't have any problem with that. So I've chose my fights, I've chose where I want to be. I want you to do the same. So I want you to think about this. Do this exercise. What would people that dislike you? What would they say about you? And what would people like you say about you? Right, next exercise. Whew, this is a one-day BradCamp squeezed into 10, 15 minutes, honestly. Right, here's where it gets interesting. What makes, same again, what makes an amazing speaker? So I'll do that one and you say amazing on this side. Amazing on this side. What makes an amazing speaker? Engaging, let's get it down there. So let's do a different colour pen. Sorry, it'd be a pen in ourselves. Demanding. Honest there. So engaging, honest there. Inspirational. Funny. Authentic. Informative. Educational. Yep. Keep going, people. Practiced. Yeah, good. Body language. As I went into it then. Body language. No, but I went into my speaker pose. Body language. Professional. Yeah, let's put that on there. What else we got, people? Cameraman. What else we got? It's interactive, this. It's good, isn't it? Hey, we're breaking through the third wall. How good's that? Amazing. Keep on going. Couple more. High energy, yeah. Know the topic. So informed. Yeah, informed. Entertaining. I think we are entertaining. Boom. Entertaining. Because that courageous, like entertaining, courageous, powerful, wonderful. So you see all these things here. It's interesting because we all know what a great speaker is. Let's look at what a poor speaker is. And thank you very much. Let's go for poor. I'll help you out here. Right. Just get yourself together there, girl. Poor speaker. And you say, hang on, can't he do it himself? Honestly, I'm rubbish at it. Right. So what makes a poor speaker? Go. Unpracticed. Dishonest. Boring. Sales pitch. Let's have that as well. Monotone. Static. Yeah. Nervous as well. Nerves. No eye contact. What's that? I do. One of the things that I do is let me tell you something. It's when I'm thinking, shit, I've run out of stuff to say. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to get myself a little bit of time. Let me tell you a story. Thinking. Let me tell you something. Boom. And it's but listen. This is what I'm trying to share with you right now. All these speakers that I move with, these professional speakers, they all do the same. They've all got their own ideas, and I'm just trying to frame this in as fast as I can. That actually, well, we'll continue this to qualities. Just keep going. So what makes a poor speaker? No preparation, unpracticed, we've got that one. What else have we got?
You've got static, but it's the opposite when they're doing the tennis match.
Tennis match.
Fake.
Fake. Well, fake. I'll tell you what, one of the ones which is moving without purpose.
Yes.
So get behind the chair.
Yeah, like just jump to
Forced. A couple more, and then we're done. Then you can give us unknowledgeable. All right. Lack of knowledge. All right. And then oh gosh. Can you see me? I hate that. Honestly. Boys and girls, out and back. Thank you very much. Well done. We may have you back shortly. Right, so just understand this. You've got that there. You've got me here. I now speak for the likes of JCB, right? Sorry, Prince Charles told me not to name drop. All ones are the best, right? but, I now speak for JCB. Let me just show you something. When I first started as a speaker in phone networking 10 years ago, I'm going to tick the ones that I was 10 years ago. So, that is Brad Burton 2006. No question. Maybe 2007, maybe 2008, and so forth. And every step of the way that I've gone, bear in mind, all I've done as professional speaker training is foresights. That's it. So I've had no, guess what, I'm going coaching or what. I've had a few sessions. But primarily, my speaking has come as a result of doing 10 minutes at foresights, 10 minutes. Before you know it, you've now got 40 minutes of content to glue together. So that was me, 2006. Let me just show you now what I believe I am now. Right. So what's the difference between a £50 speaker, a £500 speaker and a £5,000 speaker? So there they go. What is the difference between a £500 to do a keynote speaker and a £5,000 one? 10 years. And £4,500 of bullshit. Because I'm telling you now, there is no difference. I am still the same guy that I was in some respects. But would JCB, would the business show, wherever the business show is, where's the business show? There. Would the business show, would they have booked me? Business show there. Would they have booked me 10 years ago? No, because they didn't book me. They booked me 6 years ago, and they put me in a shitty room out of the way. And what happened, and I've got it on video, it's on episode 3, I think, of Brad Ventures. I was at the show, and they said to me, one of the speakers has cancelled, do you want to step in? And I said yes. First time I ever spoke. This is what you've got to do when you become a professional speaker, or to start speaking, you've got to say yes to everything. Yes to the opening of an envelope. Yes, and driving your car and go from here to Swindon to go to a room with 4 people in, and you've got to speak. You've got to be prepared to do that. If you're not prepared to do that, forget it right now. Give up your speaking career, because this is the thing, you can't skip the steps. See, everyone wants the big stages. Everyone wants 1,000 people. Well, I'll tell you something about that. The problem is you go to 1,000 people, you die, that's you finished. Your career is finished. So you have to go and do the hard yards. So I'm over at the business show, and the business show say to me, do you want to step in? I goes into a room, say 40 seats there, 23 people in the room, and I go, hi guys, nervous as hell, shaking like a leaf. Hi guys, I'm the speaker who was due to be here has got to cancel, so they've asked me would I do it. Can I just ask the question, what was the speaker who was due to be here? Literally, I got rushed in, I was supposed to be starting. What was he speaking about, or she speaking about? Import-export from China. Okay. I'm going to be talking about getting off your arse and pizzas. If you do want to leave, you're more than welcome to go now. Emptied the room, 4 people, stay politely. Right? And that's what you're going to have to do as a speaker. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to go and speak to rooms, and you're going to have to be nervous as hell, because nerves are all part of it. They are part of it. Nerves are part of it. As recent as last year, probably 6 months ago, I had 2 paid gigs back to back, £3,000-4,000 each. And that's the most times I've ever had consecutive. So don't think that I'm doing that every week, because I'm not. Right? I'm being honest. Right? That's all you get from me. Honesty. That's what we talked about. Boom. That's all you'll get from me. And I did 2 gigs, and I was nervous as hell, scared to death. And what happens with this as a speaker? Your mind can play tricks with you. So your content's great the day before, and then you're in the car park, and all of a sudden, you don't want to be there. And I remember like Men in Black going, you know what, I want to have one of those sticks that you press and just get me out of here and you can have the money back. That's how nervous I was. Absolutely traumatised. And what happened is I went into the gig and I did it. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 5's been a pass, just to be clear. 5's been a pass, 10's knock it out of the park. And right now I'd say I'm on an 8.5, just so we know where we are. Right? I probably got a 5.5 or 6. So it was a pass, I scraped through. The old days, I would have been a 2 or a 3, I would have died. And that's where the commando rolling comes in. Because you need to realise how to commando roll out of the embarrassment out of the hotel. Right? Because I tell you what, that's what you feel like doing. I've had it. Last time I had one of these microphones, when I died, and I'll tell you about that at the end, I left that there. I left that £250 unit there because I run. So this is all part of it, of becoming a professional speaker, or becoming a better speaker, that unless you are prepared to do that, forget it. Now, I said bananas before. Remember bananas? Good. Tip that I got from someone who's in a TV production company, Channel 4, ITV, they run a major one. I was saying about nerves, how you deal with it, and said, oh, bit of a tip that they use in TV. I said, what's that? Bananas. I said, go on. So, yeah, I have a banana 20 minutes before, and it's full of potassium or something. Listen, I have no fucking idea if it works or not, right? But guess what? When I've got a gig, banana, lovely, right? So psychosomatic or whatever, but you've got to do these little routines, whatever routines you've got, whatever things that make you feel better. One of the things that I used to do, don't do it anymore, because as you get better, the nerves become under control. But what I used to do was I would go to the toilet and I would put the cold water on my wrists and run it. And before you know it, 30 seconds in, it's getting painful. You go, fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell. What nerves? You've just forgot about your nerves. So there's all these little distractions that you've got to do. One of the other things. So we talked about this. So the transition that you're going to get in order for you to become a proper speaker it's going to take you time for you to make money. Because the same routine that I'm doing at the moment, I'm now getting paid thousands of pounds. That's crazy. I'm waiting for the police to arrive and say, listen, you've been found out, Mr. Burton. Come on, we're arresting you, right? Because it's just nuts, right? You think I'm joking? I go out of there waiting for the SO19 to get me on the floor. Down, down, down! 1996 all over again. You can edit that. Right, so the other thing is to understand this as a speaker, right? When you go and speak, this is an absolute classic, something that we came up with BradCamp. And actually, Michelle was there when we devised this. But what was interesting about this, I got this is not an acronym that I'm going to give you. We didn't have that when we first did it, right? So there's something that I do at BradCamp. ACE. In order for you to be a speaker, you need to be an ace. Guess what this is, people? No idea, have you? Right, so one of those ones. Who likes rhetorical questions? Right, okay, so we've got this one, we've got this one, we've got this one. You need 3 things. So imagine these like pint pots, all right? So, fucking worst drawing ever, honestly. Right, so I'm going to have 3 pint pots. I'm making this up on the fly. Let me just tell you something. We're all making it up on the fly, right? The difference is I'm telling you what I'm doing. Right, this is the thing. I'm like what's he called? Darren Brown. I'm telling you the trick and how you do it. This is the thing. We've got to understand that the baseline that you've got that you've built up over time allows you to think on your feet. You know, you don't have cue cards when you're having a conversation with the wife or the husband. You just don't. So you're allowed to. So here we go. This is it. Imagine 3 pint pots. All right. Nearly as good as your houses. Don't you start laughing at me, right? Right, that's not really, yeah, okay. Right, you get the point. Right, so, pint pots, okay? 3 pint pots. This one's A, C, E, right? And what you've got on here, massive, absolutely massive. This will change everything. And this applies not only to speaking, but to business. A is for assets. Is cash, let's say. And E is for experience. So, when I started speaking 20 years ago, I had no photographs, I had no video. I had none of this. I had none of this. No baseline. I had nothing. I had no cash as a speaker. I couldn't get booked, I couldn't get paid. I had no experience. Now what's happened? Over the course of the last 10 years, imagine this being the top of the pint pot. My experience is up here. My assets are up here. So phone networking, all the pictures, my wonderful flyers there, my showreels, my sound bites, my books, you know, assets. These are all the reasons that are because there that JCB say to me, hey Brad, we see that you're the UK's #1 motivational speaker. We see that you've got some books. We see that you run phone networking. We see that you've got heritage with NHS, with Bentley, with so forth. They're assets. And without them, I couldn't demand the cash that I require. So what you've got to do is this. The only way that you're going to get proper money as a speaker is by getting all your assets sorted out. I've done 2 here. So while Michelle knows the score. She came on BradCamp, she knows the score. So Michelle, I was there waiting for her, waiting for her. Bump, pose, snap. She's had an email to a high resolution picture. She's got an asset that she can put on her website, you know. But the old days, if you didn't know about the asset, it would just be lost. So you go and speak, and I'm speaking at 1,000 people. July 13th, 1,000 people at Ricoh Arena. Guess what? I'm spending the £500 that I need to get my photographer there. And if my photographer comes away with 1 photograph of me over the shoulder, looking at 1,000 people, then it's been worth it. Yeah. Because that's the asset that I need. But guess what? Me speaking at that event, I'm getting cash. Because they booked me because I've got all the assets, I've got the experience. So the only thing I need to top up on my pint pots is cash. So therefore, I can say no to gigs. That's how you get your price up. Because if you say yes to everything, the opening of an envelope, all you're getting is 250 quid. And this is why I said about teleport machines. Because what happens is we go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go and do that job over in Manchester. It's an 8-hour round trip. I'm going to get 300 quid. Oh, brilliant. Do your math, get your calculator out, do your fuel and all that, and say to yourself, right, how much have you made? But we kid ourselves. So you need to understand this. In order for you to become a professional speaker and do it right, you need assets, cash, and experience. Just to break these down, assets, photographs, showreels, books, contacts, content, experience, once again, content, ability to be able to walk with purpose. Pauses, you know, that has come. I couldn't fucking pause years ago. I told you like Stevie Wonder, looking over everyone's eye. I couldn't look at anyone's eye. So the only thing I need now, when somebody rings up and says, hi Brad, do you want to come and do our school fete? No, I'm not interested. The old days, I'd go to anything. Assets, cash, experience. Nerves. Let me tell you about nerves. So I spoke recently with Chris Eubank, Prince Charles told me not to name drop. Oh, I've done that. So you can even get I get a second laugh out of the same joke. You know, amazing. But see, that's the thing. It's called a fallback, which I'll come to in a second. But nerves, let me explain something about nerves. I was with Chris Eubank, chat backstage. You were speaking at the London Reel event. Go and Google it. We was talking about nerves. I said, do you suffer from nerves? He went, not really. But he said, do you remember when I fought Nigel Benn? And he's like, remember that? Punching his gloves together and he's looking at him. Big flared nostrils. And the commentator said, look at the arrogance on Eubank. He said to me, he said, you know why he did that? Because he was shitting himself. His heart's pounding, boom, 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 boom. 25 million people tuning in, live on television, the biggest fight of a generation. And he's scared to death, and he can't show fear. Because if he shows fear, Eubank is going to go, you know what? So not Eubank, Ben is going to go, guess what? He's fearful. And when it comes to later on, when you're digging in, he's sussed him. He's got him sussed. He knows that he's fearful. And that's when it comes, the difference is what we talked about with Ram before, that tiny little sliver. So nerves are a thing. I got for them. And what you've got to understand is, as we talked before, right, which is nerves no one can see. Something we've realised at BradCamp, sales pitch there, subtly, right? Something we've realised at BradCamp is that whole thing, is that that people can't see your nerves. They can't see your nerves. You can feel them, boom, 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 but no one can see it. Hence the reason Chris Eubank was called arrogant as opposed to being fearful. So as long as you understand that you've got 2 minutes to get yourself back on track, and I'll show you an example. I'm going to round it off in a second. I'm going to show you an example of this, something that I could call a fallback position. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to think for a second right now. Then I want you to turn to the person next to you, and I want you to answer this just for a minute. What 3 things could you be doing right now that you're not? And I'll come back to you in 3 minutes. Right, just made it up. Right, just made it up on the fly then to buy myself some time. So it's these kind of tricks that you can do. I am dying internally. Shit. Okay, guys, what I want you to do right is this. Ask yourself this question. What can you do today with what you've already got? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Right? Fallback positions. All right, I'll give you another example of a fallback position. So I was dying one day. Oh no, I can't share that story. You're not rock and roll enough for it, are you? Right? I'm just thinking, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to say. Think. You rock and roll enough? You rock and roll enough? We need a vote, because it's about democracy right now. Show of hands. Who reckons in this room that they're hardcore enough to hear this story? Show of hands. Right. There's only 5. I'm buying myself some time. That's the reality of it. And it's these little tricks as a speaker. This is the experience can only give you. And that experience, that's the thing that people buy into. Because when you're a speaker, people are buying into confidence. And when I go to these ones and I die, or I'm outside in the car going shit, guess what? I'm shot to bits. My confidence is eroded. When I'm selling, or you're selling a speaker's confidence, you've got to make certain. So what you've got to do is this. When you do your cue cards, I want you to write down, I'm using a loose cue card there, but write down the night before, sign it to say, this content is good enough for me. Sign it, and date it, and time it. And you know, when you're outside in the car park going, you know that you wrote last night that when you was fine, it makes a difference. Final thing I'm going to leave you with is this. Dying as a speaker is all part of it. Fact. Right? So don't think that anyone that you see on stage that has got wonderful poise and they can, they talk about the future when they talk to the right and the past, the left, and they're being an orator. Don't think that these people don't suffer the fear, because I know the top level, the highest level of speakers in the UK, and they all go through it. And I was speaking at an event 2 years ago, the one that I talked about before, where I left my 250 quid headset thing, this receiver, unbelievable. It was a company that works for a big supermarket, and I'd got the gig, and what happened was, let's say I was speaking at 4, I was the guy who's going to leave it at 4. 200 employees, goes in there, 2 o'clock, goes to the toilet, and there's 2 guys having a wee. And one of the guys' staff goes, fucking hell, this is boring, it's supposed to be inspirational, all of this shit. I'm thinking, this is tough. So I'm due to speak at 4, 3 o'clock, they have the sales director come on. Sales director came on with shorts on, Bermuda shorts, and a Bermuda shirt, hilarious. Or so the staff thought. They didn't really think it was hilarious. They're laughing because it's the fucking sales director, right? So he came on like that. Everyone's belly laughing, and actually they're laughing at them, right? But they had to pretend. So he went on there, and he was terrible. Horrid. But they were all laughing at his jokes. So I'm due to go on there round off, and the managing director is due to introduce me. He's got this wonderful intro. And he said, oh, I can't find my cards. It's just some fat bloke from Manchester. I've had better intros. I've got 45 minutes of this. 45 minutes of this. Deadly silence. So straight away, my nerves have been whacked off my game now. So it's now a case of me getting myself back in there. And I just understand where I was. If you think about what I just said before, that I'm on an 8.5, where you think I am now, where I am, from my perspective, from my experience, I'm an 8.5. But there's several things going on here. If there's 100 people here, I reckon I could take it to 9.5. But what you've got to do as a speaker is find the level of where the audience is. There's no point in being rah, rah, rah if the audience are so far. So you've got to find the level between the individuals. So I'm doing this and I'm cracking my best jokes and I'm pacing. And I've just not managed to get my shit together here. This is just not happening. You know, there's times in your life when you're on stage. There's times in your life when the decision can go nowhere else and it's all on you. And this is one of those times. I think it's fair to say this isn't going the way I'd like it to go. First laugh of the day. This was a bear pit. They did not want to be there. They wanted to be in the pub. It was a free bar afterwards. So I'm 25 minutes in now. I'm going, I'm dying. This is 2 years ago. I'm dying. This isn't working. I've got nothing else to give. This is the bit where I wanted to commando roll or press the teleport and get out of there. 200 people looking at you. So there's times in your life when actually, when you're in your department and it's all on you, the decisions. And this is one of those times when I'm stood up here, facing an audience, and they're looking at me blankly, looking for answers, and sniggering under the breath. And I said, but as a motivational speaker, you always look at what you can get inspiration from situations like this. And something that I've realised today is this. Just think about this because it's important. Experience is what you win when you lose. Think about that. Experience is what you win when you lose, when things don't go your way. And I've learned something today. Would you like to know what that is? He said, yes. I said, never do a fucking job in Norfolk, and walked off, right? And they all started laughing, and that was it. And honestly, I left my thing there and commando rolled out there. That was 2 years ago. You are going to get that. But once again, you're now better placed to know how to deal with it based on that experience. And you look at any boxer, as Anne talked about before, or any sports person, it's that ability to get back up after an injury. It's that ability to go, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go and get the world record for ironing. As a speaker, I have no qualifications, genuinely have none, right? I don't sound like Charlotte Green off Radio 4. I'm just a normal guy. But somewhere along the way, the decisions that I've made as a speaker have allowed me to get paid by these international global companies. And this is a guy, by the way, just to be clear, who does have trainers on, looks a bit scruffy, does have tattoos, does have shaved hair, does look like a drug dealer. I'm not anymore. You can edit that as well. But you see, so if I were to go back to what people said about me, people who don't like me, if I would have listened to those people and said, Brad, I'm not arrogant, far from it. But someone who doesn't like me will use that, try to do that. And generally speaking, when I've actually got people who say I was like Marmite. I'm not like Marmite. Marmite's 50-50. I fucking hate the stuff. But I'm nothing like Marmite. I'm nothing like Marmite. Right? I reckon 10% of people don't like me, 90% do. And it's interesting when I explore those 10% that don't like me, and actually why they don't like me, and they'll say all this sort of stuff. But actually, the truth, and I found this out, is that they're actually jealous. That someone like me with no qualifications, someone like me is from Manchester, someone like me looks like a drug dealer. I'm not anymore, right? Someone like me can get paid for gigs that these guys can't with their MBAs, with their suits and the three-piece suits and pocket watches. So the first thing that I would say to you, if you want to get into this whole speaking game, do look at BradCamp.biz. No, sorry, inside not a sales pitch, isn't it? I'm falling on my own sword. You can edit that, genuinely. But the first thing that I would say, in order for you to get a speaking career which is fulfilling for you, is be you. Genuinely be you, right? Don't try tone it down. Don't try tone it up. Just be you. After doing this thing for 10 years, the other thing that I'd say is that practicing in front of mirrors sucks. Practicing in front of your partner sucks. Every single time I've ever tried practicing in front of my wife, guess what? She starts laughing. Why are you fucking laughing? I'm not laughing at you. I'm fucking slammed it. Oh, you pissed me right off. That is why people foresighting That is why people, foresight. Fill your boots. Get it wrong, get the nerves, deal with people, be Stevie Wonder, and become like a professional speaker, just like me. Anyway, my name's Brad Burton. You know what? The founder of Full Networking, professional motivational speaker. Not a stick as a look. Thank you very much for sticking around today, people.
Smile, be chat, join for networking.